the Dream 100 Show. The epicenter of influence, collaboration, and exponential growth. You're about to discover the power of relationships. Dream 100 relationships. And you're one relationship away from a totally different business and life. This is your host, Michael Tesner.
So first off, Happy New Year. I hope you've had an amazing New Year's Eve celebration. Welcome to 2026. This is going to be your year. I can feel it. And as you know, as your Dream 100 coach, trainer, mentor, I am here to help and support you in making this your best year to date. In today's episode of the Dream 100 Show, I wanted to do a bit of a recap of our top listened to episodes, and in particular, give you the one or two big ideas from each of those that you can implement, so that if you were to take just this episode and say, great, I want to rock out for the month of January, I want to just come out of the gates swinging, this will be the episode to really help you start in that direction. Now, a lot of our episodes were kind of tied by way of there weren't huge discrepancies, but there was one episode in particular that was our most watched, most listened to, most commented that I will save for the end of today's episode. So I'll save the best for last, but the others that I will throw at you, the episodes, were all some of our top listened to shows. So the first one was marketing math. And in this episode, I talk about how everything in business can be boiled down to a math equation, and every problem can be solved through marketing. Now, when you think about that, it might sound a little bit, maybe overzealous or trite or whatever the word might be, like Michael, how every business problem can be solved with marketing. The way that you grow a business is by out-marketing people, whether that's through out-investing, whether that's through more efforts, guerrilla marketing, obviously Dream 100 marketing, which is why you tune in and listen. But every problem can be solved by generating more sales. If you're having issues with staffing, great, fire your team, hire better people. How do you find the money for that? You need more revenue, better revenue, higher paying customers. Well, how do you get that? You start the process through marketing. Marketing drives the awareness, the interest, sets up the sales team, sales closes the deals, and then it goes through this cycle. But everything starts with marketing. You've got revenue problems. How do you fix that? You market more. You invest more in marketing. Between that or acquisitions, those are the only ways that I know how to grow a business. And Dream 100 is obviously marketing. But it all boils down to marketing math, to where you're able to reverse engineer, where do you want to go? That's the main big idea. Wherever you want to go to, you can reverse engineer the math and look at what is your cost to acquire a new customer. And if that math checks out to where you know and you can prove out that it's profitable, you don't cap it. You don't cap it. There's an e-commerce company that I work with, and they're looking at changing their budgets, and they're looking at lowering the ad spend. And I pushed back and I said, why would you lower the ad spend when the data is showing that, number one, it's a 20-to-1 ROI, so every dollar that gets invested, you're getting $20 back. The data proves that out. So why would we look at cutting that? We should be doing the exact opposite. You want to grow, you want to add another few $1,000,000 this year, we should double the budgets, triple the budgets. Every challenge can be solved through marketing. More marketing produces more leads, more opportunities, more people into your retail location, more sales, and cash can solve almost every challenge. You need better people? Great. You need more cash to do it. You want to buy a company? You can get loans. You can raise more capital. Marketing math is how you should reverse engineer everything you possibly can. So that was the first episode that I wanted to give you a recap on. The second one was actually about how much to invest in marketing. So it was the marketing budgeting section, or session rather. And this was a controversial one because there are so many varying answers. But my answer does tie into the last response a little bit. But in this episode, I gave you a variety of frameworks so that you can budget for the upcoming year to have a guideline. The numbers that I'm recommending are between 8 and 12% of your projected gross revenue. Gross, not net. If you did $1 million last year and you want to do $2 million in revenue this year, your marketing budget should grow accordingly. Why would you think that just because you hit $1 million last year, and let's say that you invested $50,000 in marketing, let's say 60, so 5%, why would you think that with that same budget you could just magically hit $2 million? I'm pausing for a dramatic effect. You need to raise your budget, but you also need to be building a budget off of projected gross revenue. Now, if you don't hit those numbers, you can then scale them back and you can adjust a little bit so you're not just throwing money out the door. But if you have your marketing math data, if you know your cost to acquire a new customer and you're tracking this stuff, it should be pretty simple. But the days of you just throwing 1% or 2% at marketing, those are long gone. People are going after attention more than they ever have before. Like, you need to be out investing everyone else. And that magical number is between 8 and 12%. So I would argue that not only did you underinvest if you hit $1 million and invested $60,000 in marketing last year, if you want to hit $2 million this year, you should be building off a marketing budget of over $150,000. Michael, oh my gosh, are you crazy? No, I'm not. If you're monitoring your numbers and watching your numbers every single week, you're not just going to throw money and just set it and forget it. But if the numbers are coming in, I don't want you to cap that marketing budget. And that's the other interesting piece. Why would you cap it at, well, Michael said 8 to 12%, we're already at 12. If your revenue is continuing to grow and you're acquiring customers profitably, blow it up. If you have the bandwidth, if you have the operational support, double it. But look at your budget off of a projected number. On the low side, 7%, but I would prefer to see you closer in the 8 to 10 range and 12 to 15 if you really want to be more aggressive. New businesses should be investing 20%, if not more. And that, we won't go down that rabbit hole, and that was a well listened to episode, but we won't go down that rabbit hole on new businesses and that failure piece. So I wanted to give you that one as the next one. Third most listened to was actually one that I was surprised, but it was about finding your Dream 100 audience. So the way that I teach you the Dream 100 is that there are 3 different audiences that you can target with the Dream 100 framework. Audience number 1 is a Dream 100 customer or client. So these would be big customers. If your average ticket sales $1,000, these might be people that can invest $100,000 in revenue. The second one would be Dream 100 referral partners or strategic alliances. These are people that have your target customers already sitting on their mailing lists, coming on their podcasts, going to their website. Now, they might not have Dream 100 clients in their database, but they have lots and lots of potential customers they could send you. This is always my favorite angle to go after for a Dream 100 relationship, is to start here. These are people that they aren't just going to potentially refer you a handful of customers. They could refer you hundreds and hundreds of customers. And the third audience is your Dream 100 press or media. So this is what would be the slam dunk for you to get press, is that you're on entrepreneur.com, you're on the Today Show. Like, what is that? Is it local media? and then chipping away at those. But those are the three audiences. I almost always suggest going after audience number 2 first. And then the other audience that is not traditionally a Dream 100 audience would be you building a list of customers and clients that you want to target and trying to use some of the Dream 100 frameworks around gifting and outreach, but that is not the traditional Dream 100 approach. That's more like the giftology book, for example. That's more simply using the law of reciprocity. Now, the Dream 100 framework does use gifts, but we're looking to be lasering in on the whales. We're going for the law of averages and the law of numbers to say if we're going after 100 and we land 3, it'll double or triple our business, rather than going after and adding one new customer, one new customer, one new customer. We're going after those whale clients, those whale relationships. So those are the 3 audiences, and I simplified that down, but there's a lot of confusion when it comes to audiences. The next one was the simplified marketing calendar. So this one doesn't have one big idea other than you should have your calendar built out for the next 90 days in advance. And you want to simplify it down to where it's fitting in Excel or in Google Sheets. And I wouldn't call it the one-page marketing plan. This is more of the one-page marketing calendar. But it's very, very simple. You're going to have the dates as to when you're going to execute something. When are you going to send an email, a text message, a new ad campaign, direct, like when are you doing an actual promotion? What are you doing? So you've got the when, you've got the what, like what. You're doing this promotion, you're like, what is it all about? The how is the tactic. So what is the tactic that you're going to use to get the word out? So great, you want to do a buy one, get one on January 5th. Okay, great. How are you going to get the word out? You're going to do emails, text messages, you're going to do banners, you're listing out all the tactics individually. So now you're able to see what are you doing, what's the message on what date, and then from there, it's more tracking. So how are you tracking it? So I put in some tracking notes. I have a column for grade. I want to see how does this perform after the fact. And then a column for notes. The whole objective here is that as you start to deploy these tactics and these campaigns, you can start to not only just dust it off and kind of reuse things, but you can know what's working, what's not working, how much is marketing actually driving. But this document, it drives the alignment across the whole team so that they're able to be operating from that same sheet of music. Simplified, kind of a one-page marketing calendar. Last but not least, the number 1 episode, and this one was by a long shot, was around my favorite Dream 100 gifts. So a very, very large portion of the Dream 100 framework is around gifting. And the gift creates the law of reciprocity. The gift creates some goodwill. But as you should definitely re-listen to this episode. I talk about how sending a cheap gift is worse than sending nothing. Like I'd rather you not send anything than send something that's a tchotchke that's cheap. These gifts at minimum should be $50, but traditionally $100 and up. And up. That underlined in bold. When you look at the value of these Dream 100 relationships, if you tell me, Michael, they could be worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, why would you cheap out on this step? Why would you think that sending someone a $10 Starbucks gift card is going to make them want to start doing business with you? So my favorite gift that I talked about at length in this episode was sending Cutco knives. I'm a huge fan of something that has utility, something that is going to be in their kitchen. These are not typically knives that you would just throw and put them like in a random, like these are $300, $500 knives that you can also have engraved with their family name on them. It creates utility. It creates a conversation piece, and it's in their kitchen. So that was my ultimate favorite gift. I also talked about how the more personalized, the better. My second favorite gift is wood that then gets put into a pen, but that wood has some significance to them. Whether that wood is from their alma mater where they went to college, it's from a movie set, for example. I bought a bunch of wood from the movie Goonies. And I had pens made because I knew the prospect loved the movie Goonies based on my research. You have to know the people that you're getting ready to send stuff to. Got to know them. The more personal, the better. The more utility, the better. Sending a gift card is easy. This needs to take some thought. You need to know about the person and send them that wow factor. And then you need to continue doing it every couple of months so that you're constantly staying top of mind until you land that dream 100 relationship. 2026 is your year. You've got this. I'm here to support you, help you in any way. I'm grateful that you continue to tune in week after week. Michael Tasner signing off. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I'll see you next week.